Esteemed Chairman, dear bankers, and distinguished guests, I would like to extend my deep appreciation and thanks to the organizers for giving me this valuable opportunity to address such a distinguished members of Arab and Turkish banking societies. I would like to thank all the people who have founded the Arab-Turkish Economic Dialogue and have made possible this meeting. It is now half a decade since the representatives of Arab and Turkish banking sector came together and discussed many important issues. I believe that those discussions have highly contributed to the improvement of bilateral relations and to the efforts to strengthen already well-founded cooperation among our countries. I understand and hope that the meeting to be held today and tomorrow will be as fruitful as previous ones. My reading of the agenda shows that all the subjects to be discussed during the panels were chosen carefully and all of them are timely. The technological revolution has already changed our economies and societies almost radically. It brought so many opportunities as well as threats. And the exploration of opportunities by discussing the digital economy and trade finance and pointing to threats under the heading Challenges of Combating Terrorism and Money Laundering with no hesitation will improve our understanding on those issues. The discussion of SME financing in economic development will set light on two major issues in the region, namely economic development and SMEs' competition capability. I believe that our cooperation in finance will empower those highly dynamic small and medium-sized enterprises in the region and contribute to overcoming chronic problems of regional economic development. It is true that we have to discuss Arab-Turkish relations with a strategic perspective by giving emphasis on long-term projects. The world is radically changing in this globalization era, and the change is forcing us to reshape our economic structure. One of the main features of the globalization is the reinforcement of regional cooperation. The number of regional economic unions has drastically increased since late 1990s. I believe that the Arab-Turkish economic dialogue should pave the way to deepen economic integration between our countries. Discussing the Arab expectations of the G20 summit under the Turkish presidency meeting will be a good opportunity to explore the economic issues for cooperation with a broader perspective. We know that the first phase of the globalization process was hit by a deep financial crisis. The world economy suffered much and is still struggling to heal. The crisis was a very bad experience, but it raised the degree of interest in Islamic banking all over the world. It is true that Islamic banking is still a developing sector and many steps should be put forward on national, regional, and global bases. But the sector is growing. I might say that participation bank sector is also growing and one of the attractive sectors in Turkey. Recently, the Banking Regulation and Supervision Agency has given permission to 3 institutions to set up 3 new participation banks. The panel, Islamic Banking from a Strategic Perspective, will be a useful discussion in this respect. I wish all the success to all the contributors of the Arab-Turkish Economic Dialogue panelists. Dear guests, as it is known, the Banking Regulation and Supervision Agency is responsible for the supervision and surveillance of all banks, leasing, factoring, and consumer finance companies in Turkey. The Turkish banking system is comprised of 51 banks, and total asset size amounts to about $850 billion as of December 2014. Turkish banking sector has been at the focus of foreign investors since early 2000s because of its growth potential, high profit margins, personal quality, IT quality, and instrument diversity. I might say that Arab investors have benefited from those opportunities. The number of Arab-originated banks has reached to 8, and their share in the bank's asset is higher than 7%. But it is clear that these figures are still far from reflecting the potential of Turkish market and investors of the region. We expect more Arab investors to come. I would like to express that BRSA is rigorously waiving a high-efficient regulation and supervision environment by implementing internationally accepted rules and regulations. This framework, with the ability of our banks, clearly helped to overcome the difficulties witnessed during the recent global financial crisis. The capital adequacy ratio of our banks was about 20% in the crisis period, and they remained profitable. We are in a close, as a BRSA, we are in a close cooperation with several regulatory and supervisory authorities in the region. But we believe that we have a lot to learn from you and your authorities, namely your central banks and banking authorities. Your experiences are very important for us. We are open to cooperate on information sharing. If you would like to benefit from our regulations and experiences, please be informed that as BRSA, we are ready. Distinguished guests, last but not least, I would like to thank again the organizers for inviting me to make this speech, and I would like to extend my gratitude and deep appreciation to all of the participants of the 5th Arab-Turkish Economic Dialogue. Thank you.